Hey guys, good morning. Dr. Gilmore here. It is Monday morning. It is, I believe, the 8th. Nope, it's the 7th of January. Lost a day somewhere over the weekend. What a crazy, crazy busy weekend. So beautiful. Why didn't I go fishing? I don't know, but what a beautiful day we're having. And I hope it leads into a great week. I actually, note to self, check weather report because could be some fun things to happen this weekend. Just don't know. And I know the boat show's going on this weekend, but I already have a boat, so I'm not going to do that. Usually that's sort of a family tradition, take off on when the boat show comes out. It starts, I believe, around the 4th of January. And supposedly that's the best time to buy a boat, but I think it's right before then because of the inventory taxes and things like that that you get to avoid for the dealership. So anyway, I don't think we're going to do that. Abby has her last day off for Christmas and New Year's break. Today's the last day. So she is, we are working hard to get her back on a reasonable schedule. So she'll be back to school tomorrow. And so getting ready for that. And this is, unfortunately, Gumby Jean will not be in today. And tomorrow, the Gons is going to be in to help us out. And then on Wednesday, I think the DW is going to come in and help us out for half a day. So I don't expect Gumby Jean back until Thursday. Family issues. And I'm sure she wouldn't mind. Her grandfather passed last week. And so she was out of town this weekend at a funeral. And she gets a few days off for bereavement. And that's important. We believe in that. And we believe in taking time off to grieve. And that's very important. So I'll be fasting today and am fasting today. So that means nothing but calorie-free liquids. And so right now I'm having a little bit of coffee, not even any artificial sweetener in there, although I guess I could put a little artificial sweetener in there. If I had some sucralose, that would be good, or some stevia, that would be good. But there's none available, and that's okay because I'll drink the coffee just straight out of the coffee maker. No big deal. So lots of interesting things happening. We're going to try to get you some great footage this week. We're still kind of floating on the glow of making that 500,000 subscribers on the main channel. We had one of our videos that just went totally viral over the weekend, and in 48 hours, it received over 3 million views. One of our older videos just sort of from 2015 just sort of up and got popular again, which is really interesting how that can happen on YouTube. You just never know. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. So the keys to fasting: number one, make sure you drink lots of fluids. Number two, stay occupied. The busier you can be, the easier the fast is going to be. You know how that is. Sometimes you just get so wrapped up in things that you're working on and that you're doing that you forget all about everything else, and time just seems to fly by. Well, that's true for fasting as well. If you want to make it a day where you fast and you've got projects that need to get finished, you got paperwork that needs to be done, let me tell you what, fasting can be a fasting day can be one of your most productive days. See if I had any messages. Oh, hey, okay. Hey, Doc. What about G2? Just got a text in from Gumby Jean. Okay. So, hey, what about G2? Can we drink Gatorade? Oh, goodness, no. That's got calories in it. That's not fasting. So that's like sugar. You'd be doing about the same thing as putting a teaspoon into the sugar bowl and just putting it in your mouth. Chrissy, Deborah, Vanessa, hi, guys. Oh, Chrissy, you're so sweet. You don't have to do that, by the way, but thank you so much. And I'll be sure if you send us a gift that we'll open it up on live and be sure that everybody gets to see what you sent. That will be fun. It's always fun to receive things. But I think I gave you the home address. So anyway, let's see, Vanessa, you want to email me about Charcot-Marie tooth disease. Don't know if the first word is spelled correctly. You did not, but I know what you're talking about. I'm familiar with it. It is a rare disease. It's kind of one of the orphan diseases. It's not very common, but we see it enough to where it should be somewhere in a primary care physician's repertoire, so to speak. Let me answer a text message real quick from Gumby Jean. not quite sure who is going to be assisting me this morning, but I'm sure somebody will step up. I got to start making some little notes, make sure we get everything taken care of this morning. All kinds of stuff happening. But what a nice weekend. It was so pleasant, so beautiful this weekend. And almost any chronic medical problem can have a hereditary component, Vanessa, so that's not terribly surprising. I will do that, Deborah. Thank you. I'll give Gumby Jean our deepest condolences. What do you know about Chiari? It is a malformation of the where the cerebellum and the spinal cord kind of come together at the base of the skull. We call it a Chiari malformation. There are different forms. Usually it's easy to fix surgically. And if you do have it, it's easy to fix. That's a good thing about it. Beautiful weather there in Ohio. You know, we were in our 70s, in the 70s yesterday and Saturday. And what's crazy is I decided to go fishing the weekend before and took the boat out, and the water was just everywhere. We had 4 to 6 foot swells, and the boat's going up and down, and we didn't even see a fish. It was miserable. Rain was coming down felt like bullets out of the sky. It was just incredible. And then this weekend we said, okay, we're going to take a break, and then we have this beautiful weather. Have I ever used yeast flakes? No, I'm not even sure what one would use yeast flakes for, unless it's for cooking. And the only yeast I'm new at cooking. Other than, the standard stuff like milk and cereal that we grew up with. I can boil an egg. I can make scrambled eggs, but I don't do that stuff anymore, of course. But the only yeast I've ever used was here recently when I learned to make bread. I looked at some different bread recipes, and I came up with my own recipe, and that is that's what I talked about last night. So anyway, so the fast begins. I hope some of you will fast along with me today, and I'll check in with you later. And we're getting ready to start clinic here just in a minute. So looking forward to getting going and getting busy. I don't feel hungry yet. Typically on my fast days, the first fast day, I do not start feeling hungry. Sometimes I don't feel hungry at all. Sometimes I will start feeling hungry. It'll be later in the early afternoon or late afternoon or early evening, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But Chrissy, if you want to read about Chiari malformation, just look it up, put it in Google. There is a lot of good information about Chiari malformation. It's not one of those things you're going to see a lot of junk science on, because they don't sell a lot of, cures and things like that for Chiari malformation. Hey, good morning. Yes, I have a full schedule today. Mondays, we typically we won't have any free schedule. We won't have any free time. And sometimes we'll have a couple of flex slots that we'll have that'll be open first thing in the morning. We won't open those up until the day of. And those will fill up right away as soon as we open the phones up. Deborah, what about blood sugars? Don't they get low? No, well, heavens no, dear. Your body's designed to handle carbohydrates correctly. The only time that you have problems with glucose levels is either if you don't eat at all for extended periods of time. And I mean, more than just a few days, of course. I've done a 7-day fast and never even checked my sugar. It's not an issue. So the other time that you have problems with your blood sugars is if you're eating animal products, then that leads to insulin resistance. And insensitivity to your own insulin, and as a result of that, you actually get hyperglycemic, but not hypoglycemic. There are some people that do get hypoglycemia, but it is very rare. Most people, they just get a little bit low because they haven't eaten or they've skipped a meal, and they get a sudden surge of adrenaline, and it makes them feel sick to their stomach, and they get jittery and shaky, and they feel like they're going to pass out, and they think they're going to die. But they won't. They just have to learn, their body has to learn not to respond that way to just a little bit of I get people in that tell me they're hypoglycemic, and what they're telling me is that if they miss a meal, they get jittery and shaky and they feel sick. But if you're fasting and you wake up in the morning and you don't eat, you don't feel sick, you don't feel jittery and shaky immediately, and all you're doing is you just continue the day like that. So that's not necessarily an issue. So don't worry about that. Fasting is actually quite simple. Just don't eat. Being a little bit of a smart aleck. It, it's a mental thing. Okay, fasting is not about your body, it's about your mind. It's about you being in control of who you are as a person. And for me, it helps me maintain my control over my wanting to overeat. I love to eat. Um, I love to eat. I love foods. I like the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel loved. It makes me feel all those things that it's not supposed to make me feel. All food is supposed to do is nourish our bodies so that we can do the things that we're supposed to do on a day-to-day basis. But food becomes so much more because it's the one addiction that we all have or can have. And I'm one of them. I admit I have a food addiction. Food addiction is one of those things that you can't completely give up. It's not possible to completely stop eating. You have to continue eating, right? I'm not trying to lose weight. For me, fasting twice a week is a maintenance plan. I also believe that fasting is very important for healing the body. So I'm trying to reverse years and years and years of bad eating habits. I know that due to my age, I probably have some coronary disease. It would be very normal for somebody my age to have plaques in the coronary arteries as large as, say, 40% and be completely asymptomatic. So there's no reason for me to believe that I'm just because I've done almost 1 year of whole food plant-based eating that I don't still have some coronary disease. So what I'm doing is I'm allowing my body an opportunity to heal that by removing those plaques. There's been documented evidence by Dr. Ornish, Dr. Esselstyn, and others. And by the way, don't forget, I mentioned that new movie that I watched this week, and I think you guys should watch it. Diet Fiction, I believe is the name. Diet Fiction. Well, I am young. I'm 54 years old, but you talk about the average lifespan of a man in the United States of America. Technically speaking, I'm supposed to only have about 20 years left. I think I'm going to make it more than that, though. But nonetheless, we all want to, make your life count, make your life count for something. But I fast twice a week, not to lose weight anymore. I did longer fasts than just 1 day at a time, though. I did a fast, 3-day fast, 5-day fast, and even a 7-day fast. And I did those to get that weight off rapidly because I wanted to make a significant change. And I did that, but I'm extremely healthy now and much healthier than I was a year ago. But there's old damage that I want to see my body try to reverse. So that's what I'm working on. That's why I continue to do the fasting. Okay, guys? Anyway, they're calling me. It's time for me to get to work. I'll try to check in with you a little bit later. And I hope you guys have a super day. If you're fasting, stick it. You can make it. Keep your mind where it needs to be. If you need to read something to get your mind off of eating, if you need to go for a walk, do that. If you need to drink more fluids, do that. Drinking fluids is important because it helps you feel better while you're fasting. You don't necessarily have to drink more fluids while you're fast. We tell you to drink more fluids because we think it makes you feel better, makes the fast easier, and that's all. All right, have a super duper day, and if I have anything interesting for you today, I'll check in and let you know. Otherwise, love you all. God bless you. And I will talk to you soon.